Not all heroes wear capes, but this one does. Larry McKenzie began his career at South Carolina Farm Bureau nearly 41 years ago.
After I went to work for Farm Bureau in 1980, a year or two later, Joe Stansel, who was the department head here, working with our commodities division, decided that he wanted to hire somebody, and I was so excited, and so was Joe Stansel when he talked to Larry, and Larry agreed to come to work for Farm Bureau.
Well, I first met Larry in the early 80s when he came to work with Farm Bureau, and it didn't take long for people to realize that he was reliable and dependable.
Though he served in many capacities, his longest role is serving as assistant to the president to 2 Farm Bureau presidents. Here he has offered advice and insight into the nuances of the organization.
Larry's been here for 40 plus years. His institutional knowledge is better and wider than anybody else I know in the Farm Bureau organization. So I relied very heavily on his knowledge to help me get through particularly those first couple years.
When I worked with him began in 2001. He came to the administrative area and he was assistant to the president. And for 20 years we worked close together, preparing and attending meetings, and I tried to count up exactly how many meetings we may have had, and it started getting into the hundreds.
During his career, Larry has been keenly focused on staff's role in supporting our members, who are the key to the success of the organization, and he never lost sight of the mission of Farm Bureau.
When you become president of Farm Bureau, you think you know a lot. And when I got here, I figured out very quickly I didn't know a whole lot. And I depended on Larry to walk me through a lot of the process that you really don't know goes on behind the scenes unless you've been here.
Larry has always been there, and he is somebody to me that is very easy to talk to. When I had a problem or needed some support or had some ideas, I felt always comfortable going and talking with Larry. Like I say, he's just always been there.
A Dillon farm boy from birth, he never lost touch with his agricultural roots and was ever an advocate for those who grow the food, fuel, and fiber to keep our state and nation running.
So his passion has always been first and foremost for production agriculture. That attitude that he brought to the job is what Farm Bureau's always been about and continues to be about, is helping our farmers.
And back in the old days, he was well versed in farm programs, and he was the one that you could call on, and he could speak so-called off the cuff and give good interpretations.
Mentor, advisor, problem solver, mover, builder. If you can dream it, Larry has done it during his time at South Carolina Farm Bureau. He is the definition of other duties as assigned, and he's done it all with a smile.
If I had to describe Larry briefly, it would be a background workhorse. He is always behind the scenes, making sure everybody is where they need to be, when they need to be there, and they do what they are supposed to do. And when things go wrong, Larry is always there to pick up the pieces and build a bridge so that it's a smooth transition out front and nobody knows all the problems that are going on behind the scenes.
He's just a people person, which is, I think, a lot of people don't have those qualities, but he does, and he's very good at being whatever somebody needs him to be at that point in time.
And he always rose to the occasion to make sure that he took responsibility and did the job to the best of his abilities.
Over the years, Larry has been a friend to everyone who knew him. His storytelling is second to none. You always knew you needed to settle in when he said, "Let me just tell you."
Larry is a friend. He is a personal friend. He is a friend to the membership. He's a friend to those folks that he works with. He's a friend to those folks he works for. You can depend on this guy. He's your friend. You can go to him when there's trouble. You can rejoice with him when there's good times going on. And Larry's just always been there in a very positive manner and friend to all in Farm Bureau.
People that knew him for a while knew that he was a great storyteller, and if you had ever been around to hear one of his stories, he could remember details from movies, events, meetings for years, and it was always nice to hear him tell his stories. And then when he was through, you felt like you had lived that part of his life also.
Steady, constant, reliable, innovative, resourceful, creative, and he did it all without looking for recognition or credit. Quite simply, Larry's quiet, unassuming leadership has been integral in keeping Farm Bureau running smoothly.
His commitment was so strong to Farm Bureau that he was willing to make the personal sacrifice on his level to make sure that the transition went smoothly and seamlessly, and that we were able to get through the process with no disruptions to the membership. And for that, I, on a personal level, and you as members of Farm Bureau should all be grateful to Larry for making the sacrifices that he's made for this great organization.
Though his career has spanned decades, there are very few photos of Larry, just the way he wanted it. Farm Bureau and its members were always his top priority. It may not be well documented, but Larry, we all know. We know how hard you worked for the good of South Carolina Farm Bureau and for the good of South Carolina agriculture. And for that, we are thankful.
Larry, congratulations on your retirement. It's been something that is well deserved. I know you will enjoy it. And go Tigers!
Larry, I know that this is going to be quite a change in your life because you've been used to getting up and going to the office, and now you're not going to be doing that anymore. But I know that you're going to enjoy time with your wife, Mel, and with all of your children and your grandchildren. And I look forward to seeing all these things that you're going to be doing at the beach that you will be posting pictures of. And I really, really wish you the best. Love you. And thank you for all of your support. Thanks, Larry. Enjoy retirement.
Larry, on behalf of myself and the other district directors, and actually all of the staff here at South Carolina Farm Bureau, we do wish you a very happy, long, successful retirement. I know you're going to enjoy those grandkids and all of your hobbies that you have. You can go to the beach and do your great sand sculptures and maybe make some money off of that. I've always believed that you could probably charge people for doing that, or at least teaching them how to do it. But like I say, I hope for you a very successful retirement, and don't let Mel work you too hard. See you, buddy.
Larry, from the deepest part of my heart, thank you for your commitment, and thank you for all the help that you've given me to help make Farm Bureau the success that it is.
We had a heck of a time, is all I know.